me just a second to share my screen.
It will work eventually.
Yes, there we go. I hope you see it. All right, thanks for this invitation. I'll be talking about fashion and circularity and why this is the way going forward. And as you already mentioned, I will quickly guide you through our vision and our sustainability strategy as H&M brand and a company. Then I will make the link between the fashion industry and circularity. And of course, talk about how we bring the circular solutions to our customers. But let me first start by saying that we as a company being represented on 75 markets worldwide, of course, we feel the responsibility of this huge impact that we make. But of course, we acknowledge that. And that's why we have a very ambitious vision. We want to be leading the change towards a circular and climate positive fashion industry, while at the same time, we're being fair and equal company. And this is translated into our approach or our three main pillars. First one of them is leading the change. And when we talk about leading the change, we focus our efforts on scaling innovation, promoting transparency, engaging partners for industry-wide progress. I will just quickly walk you through what exactly we do or what exactly do we mean in this particular point. For example, when we talk about scaling innovations, we're searching for new materials, for recycling technologies, for business models that promote more and more circularity, and of course, that improve the resource usage and enhance the customer experience, because this is what we need in order to transform the business and the way of doing business in the fashion industry. Promoting transparency is very much linked to how we communicate. We communicate openly and honestly about our business, because we believe that this is very crucial in order to build meaningful relationships with, starting with our colleagues, with our customers, investors, and also other stakeholders. Of course, transparency itself wouldn't tackle all the issues of sustainability or all the circularity challenges, but it actually creates an accountability and comparability, which is pushing us to improve, and we're also encouraging others in the industry to do the same. And of course, we couldn't do the change alone. We need to bring on board other partners and other big players for the fashion industry, and not only in order to make the change and lead this change. Then our efforts are also being very much focused on being 100% fair and equal. We want to be part of a fashion industry that provides fair jobs, equal treatment for everyone. We respect human rights, we promote inclusion, and we're actually champions in diversity throughout our supply chain. And we also invite and we boost others to do the same, because we acknowledge our impact with the direct employees that are directly involved in our business through our operations, but of course also through the factories that we collaborate with and our suppliers throughout the world. And last but not least, we very much focus our efforts on being circular and climate positive. And here, of course, the biggest question is about climate change, because climate change remains one of the greatest challenges of our time. I think we are all aware that its consequences will affect our entire planet. So all of us living on it will be somehow impacted. That's why we need to challenge all industries, including fashion. And for us, this means that we bring new possibilities. We're rising our sustainability ambitions even more. One of the things that we are focusing is to be climate positive, to have a climate positive approach across our value chain, operating within the planetary boundaries, which means that we are committed to transforming our business and changing the way that fashion is produced, consumed, and used. Our new climate strategy reaches actually beyond our value chain. And what we do is actually that we invest in renewable energy, in circularity and other technologies in order to secure our own value chain and to make sure that we use different resources We also inspire different actions beyond our own value chain through engaging public affairs and collaborating with partners. We also acknowledge that today we're losing biodiversity at a faster pace that it can actually restore itself. That's why we want to make sure that our business has a net positive impact on the biodiversity. And we have certain actions related to that as well. And of course, last but not least, we want to have a circular ecosystem when it comes to our supply chains. And this is very much where we focus our efforts and where our goals are aiming for. And I will, with that, actually make a link with our goals going towards 2030. And not only because we have set ourselves very ambitious goals in order to achieve, because apart from the strategy, of course, we need to achieve progress and certain results. So as you can imagine, our ambitious goals are in the direction of circularity, of climate. They're related to materials and resources. Not only actually, the goals are implemented in our packaging strategy, also regarding water and so on. I wouldn't go through much into detail through all of this, but I just wanted to show you kind of a snapshot of the important highlights that we are aiming for. And for example, when we are talking about circularity and when we are talking about the climate, I think very important fact that we can highlight here is that from the beginning of this year, as of January 1st, we have taken the decision that we will no longer onboard any new suppliers or supplier factories into our supply chain if they have on-site coal boilers in the factories, because this is part of our longer-term aim to phase out coal from our supply chain. Then we have also goals related to reducing the CO2 emissions based on a baseline that we created in 2019. So this is how we monitor our progress. Towards 2030, we also want to make sure we use 100% renewable electricity in our own operations. And we're also raising the bar on our energy sourcing criteria. So we're searching for different opportunities as well. Then when it comes to materials and resources, we are very much focused on sourcing recyclable materials for our products. For example, all polyester used in our products will be 100% recycled by 2025. Then towards 2030, we want to make sure that 100% of our materials are recycled or sustainably sourced. And you can see that already in 2021, we have achieved 80% of that goal. So that's the way going forward. And when it comes to packaging, we have definitely done some improvements because all packaging is designed and produced by H&M Group in a way that it could be reusable and recyclable. And our goal towards 2030 is to make sure that 100% of the packaging is from recycled or other sustainably used material, with a preference, of course, for post-consumer recycled materials. But as I said, let's not deep dive that much in these goals. This is just to show you that we're very ambitious and strict when following up our sustainability strategy. But you would also question, Mark, so how does circularity and the fashion industry are linked together? And what I can say here is that first we need to respond to the question, what is actually a circular economy? By definition, the circular economy should be system solution framework for global challenges, including the climate change and biodiversity loss. And by design, the circular economy solutions should eliminate the waste and the pollution by circulating products and materials. So this type of economy should be restorative and regenerative by design, and it's usually based on three main principles: designing out waste and pollution, keeping products and materials in use, and regenerating natural systems. But all this requires a systematic shift that builds long-term resilience and generates new business and also economic opportunities. And of course, provides an environmental and social benefits for all of us. In that sense, our vision for a circular fashion industry is that we link the circular economy for the fashion that creates better products and services for our customers, that contributes to a resilient fashion industry and also helps the regeneration of the environment. And it also prioritizes the rights and the equity of everyone involved in the fashion industry, because in this way we will create new opportunities for growth, which opportunities should be equally distributed and diverse and inclusive. And what we want to build is a fashion industry that designs products that could be used more, that could be made again or remade, and that could be made from safe and recycled, renewable inputs. And going further and finding a logical connection to our business, of course, then we need to introduce circularity through certain circular business models. What we need to do basically is to develop new ways of doing our business in order to make sure that these products are used more for a longer period of time. And eventually these materials don't go to waste or don't go out of this circle, or as we call it, close the loop, but they're fully recovered and they're being able to be used again as a resource. And you would ask, what kind of business models do we use? Traditionally, the fashion industry has unfortunately followed a very linear business model, meaning take, make, and then unfortunately waste. So the circular business models basically breaks this chain to keep the garments in use longer and to make sure that they're not wasted once they are basically going out of their lifespan. And here on this graph, you actually can see how we tie together the different stages of the products and how it's being used, consumed, and treated afterwards. For example, we have a circular products approach already from the starting point of the design, the way we pick the raw materials. Then we introduce these specific circular business models within our supply chain, as I mentioned. But the biggest part that we focus on is actually the circular customer journey, where we have three main, I would say, sections. It's the access, the use and care, and the collect and sort part. And when we talk about access, we're trying to bring to our customers a different variety of opportunities to give them the access, for example, to use in a different way garments. Let's say, for example, in some of our countries, we have the opportunity for customers to shop even second-hand garments online through H&M. Or we give them the opportunity to have access to buy and sell pre-owned clothes. We have a concept called rewear. When it comes to the use and care, we have developed a specific category of products which is called take care, which helps the customer to treat their garments in such a way that they last longer. And I mean, there are many examples how we support that. But of course, the important thing is that we give these kind of solutions and opportunities to our customers. And of course, when it comes to the collecting part and sorting part, we're working very much with recycling post-consumer collection, and also working with pre-consumer recycling, because we know that certain processes of the production stages for our garments and the left outs from there could be actually turned into valuable resources further on. And just to continue further, how do we bring these circular solutions to our customers?
Just one interruption. We're running a bit out of time. If you could
I know I have one or a minute and a half. I'm going to be very quick.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say here that what is important is to acknowledge that customers are becoming more and more demanding. So actually they require these conscious decisions, and they are actually moving us towards the circular economy. So this is no longer something the business just voluntarily have to do, but it's mandatory. And the good thing about us in H&M is that actually we have been in this journey already for 15 years. We're making our steps towards even further improvements, but we believe also that we have on board our customers. And here I will just very quickly show you 4 examples of what we practically do and how we bring circularity to our customers. We have developed a very special concept which is called Circulator. This is a way to revolutionize the product development process. You can learn more on the link that you see here. We are the first company that introduced garment collecting, and it's the world's biggest initiative for garment collecting and recycling old and unwanted garments. You can see some curious facts. We also offer across different stores in different countries around the world the opportunity of our customers to bring their garments so that they're repaired, remade, or refreshed. And we also reward actually the conscious behavior of our customers through our loyalty program, as long as they bring their conscious shopper, they return garment clothes, or they choose an environmentally smart way for their deliveries. Having that said, I think it's such a wide scope. There are many examples that we can bring, but what I want to finish my presentation with is that really everyone's effort counts and brings us actually closer to finding the solutions, but also only together we can really make it possible. And this is what is really, really important for us to do together in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Velikova.